Normally, what we say, na the mean of the squared deviation of the squared deviations is known as the variance. Variance may be described in different terms. And they may be changed and they may be also used interchangeably and can be used interchangeably. Practically, আমরা বা symbolically, whatever we can say, that variance of x, already that has been described in the last class, that variance of x can be described in the form of summation of x, that means each and every data, minus mu, that is the mean of the data, and by the total number of data, that is n. And that is also written as the sigma square. Moreover, it is also called the sigma squared, and that is the same, that means summation of xi for each and every one mu whole square by capital N. Now, although the sigma or the variance, sigma squared, that means the variance is the measure of the dispersion, the unit of its measurement is in points. That means, okay, it may be better we rewrite it. It is a measure of dispersion. The unit is written in terms of points. Points means, suppose the distribution is related with the income of some families. So obviously in India, then the variance is rupee square, or using the symbol rupee square, but not in rupees. So that means always the square must be there. Suppose another distribution is based on the marks of the students. So the variance must be with the unit in the marks square, not in mark. Now from variance we can say, or we can find the standard deviation. That means standard deviation or sigma is written as the square root of the variance. But we have to remember the standard deviation or the variance for the variance is always the positive value. So we can write out the sigma as square root of summation of xi minus mu whole square divided by n. Now, up to that, whatever the problem we have done, that's the formula. Now, in applied statistics, this formula is written in a different form. Practically, the standard deviation is more frequently used there. And why we should use the standard deviation, that would be discussed today. Standard deviation is more frequently used. And that is also then the variance. So the formula can be written as sigma is equal to square root of sigma xi whole square. That means the whatever the data we have, its square minus then sigma xi its whole square divided by n and complete divided by n. Okay, now let's check that formula with an example. The previous example was the same example where we have, suppose the values were like that, x and the datas are 20, 15, 19, 24, 16 and 14. The total is 108. That was the same problem. In the previous problem, whatever we have done, now we have found the mean at first. That means we have found the mean at first, and the mean was 108 by 6 or 18. And after that, we have found x minus mu, and then the table, another column was x minus mu whole square in that way. And we have used the formula, that one. That means summation of x minus mu whole square divided by n. In that case, whatever we are doing, that is completely different and easy. We are just doing here x square. That means whatever the value of x is, find out the square of it. So 20 square is equal to 400. 15 square is equal to 225. 19 square is equal to 361. 24 square is equal to 576. 16 square 256. 14 square 196. Just find out the summation of all the x square. That means summation of xi square is equal to 2014, and that one is the summation of xi. After that, we are using that formula. That means whatever we use in the applied statistics. So that means we may write here that summation of xi square is equal to 2014. That one. Summation of xi is equal to 108. In total number of observations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n is equal to 6. Then find out the sigma from here. And what was the formula? Now that one was summation of xi whole square minus summation of x its whole square, then divided by n, then divided by n. So it one is now square root of at first write down the summation of xi square. That means 2014. That one minus summation of x, that is 108. That means 108 its whole square, then divided by n. So n is equal to 6 and then divide by n. So that is divide by 6 and we get the after calculation, that is we may write it or calculate it in that way. Complete division by 6 and here that is 6 12084 minus 11664 or sigma is equal to square root of 420 by 6 divided by 6 and that sigma is easily we can say 70 by 6 or sigma is equal to square root of 11.67 or sigma is equal to 3.42. Whatever we have done previously, the same result is here and that must be. So in that case, we don't have to find out the mean or something. Just find the square of each and every data or item. Then use that type of formula in the applied statistics to find out the standard deviation. And that is obviously for the ungrouped data. Obviously for the ungrouped data because no range, no class has been given here. So next one, how we can find out the value of standard deviation for the group data. So proceed with another problem and here the topic is the group data. Then we have to find out the standard deviation. Let's check the problem. Whatever the data has been given. Suppose the question has been given like that, marks obtained by students in an examination. And the marks has been given like that, marks from 0 to 10, then 10 to 20, then 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, and 90 to 100. So all the marks has been given. So that is our first column and that is according to the question. Now the second one, that is called the number of students. Obviously those are called as the frequency. So from 0 to 10, that is 1, 10 to 20, 3, 20 to 30, 6, 30 to 40, 10, 40 to 50, 12, 50 to 60, 11, 60 to 70, 6, 70 to 80, 3, 80 to 92, and 90 to 100, 1. So that is practically the question has been given or the problem data has been given. So we have to find out the standard deviation or sigma from here. So obviously that is a group data. So the next column that must be, we are using midpoints. So midpoints From 0 to 10, midpoint is 5. 10 to 20, 15. 20 to 30, 25. 30 to 40, 35. 40 to 50, 45. 50 to 60, 55, 65, 75, 85, then 95. Next one, we have to find out the deviations, and deviations in that way. Deviations, and that is D divided by 10. That means we are finding the D dash. Already we know that is from the previous thing. Okay. So here, suppose what is the deviation? Now, deviation is, suppose we have counted the 55. We have counted the 55 as the middle value. Okay, that is our assuming. So we can write the first one. I am just writing the first one, not for the each and every one. 5 minus 55 divided by 10. Why 10? Now 10 means the range of the class. Always that is 10. That's why. So that is minus 50 by 10 or minus 5. Next one, same as 15 minus 55 by 10. That means minus 40 by 10, or that is minus 4. In the same way, we are proceeding here. That is minus 3. That is minus 2. That is minus 1. Then obviously that one is 0. Then 1. Then 2. Then 3. Then 4. I am once again calculating that one. Suppose that means 75 minus 55 divided by 10. So that is 20 by 2 or 10. Next one, column is for the FD dash. That means what is the F here is, it must be multiplied with the D dash. So here, first one, minus 5 into 1. So that is minus 5. Second one, suppose minus 4 into 3. So that is minus 12. Third one, minus 3 into 6. That means minus 18. In the same way, minus 2 into 10. That means minus 20. Minus 12. Obviously, that one is 0. Next one, 6 into 1. That means 6. 3 into 2. That is 6. 3 into 2. That is 6. And final one is 4. So that is our another column. That is FD dash. But another one column we have to find out. That is FD dash square. That means whatever the value here is, we have to find out the complete value of using D square. So suppose the first one, that means minus 5. So that is frequency 1 into minus 5 whole square. So that one is becoming 25. Okay. Next one, suppose minus 12. So, sorry, not minus 12, that is minus 4. So that is 3 is the frequency. Then find out the minus 4 its whole square. So 4 in minus 4 into minus 4, that means 16 into 3, that is 48. Next one, frequency is 6. So 6 into minus 3 whole square. So that means 9 into 6, that is 54. Next one, 10 into minus 2 whole square. That means 4 into 10 is equal to 40. Next one, 12 into minus 1 whole square. For your ease, I am writing in that way the column. So it would be better for you. Okay. So that one is 12. Next one, 11 into 0. So that one is 0. Next one, 6 into 1 square. That means 6. Next one, 3 into 2 square. So that means 4 into 3, that is 12. 2 into 3 square. That means 9 into 2, 18. And the final one, 1 into 4 square. That means 16. So that is our column. Once again, whatever we have given the first two columns. That means the marks and the number of students, the frequency. Then we have to find out the midpoints, then the deviation according to the range of the class. Then we have to find out the F with multiplication with the deviations. Then we have to find out the frequency into the deviations square. Okay, so now what is the total values? We can find out. Total number of frequencies here is 55. That means there are total 55 students. Next one, another one we have to find out, that is the for that FD dash column. That means summation of FD dash. That one is equal to minus 45. Okay. And another one we have to find out, that is summation of FD dash its square. And after the addition, we are getting, that is 231. So that means once again, whatever we have to find out, that is FD dash and FD dash whole square. So why should we use that? Then the formula for finding the sigma, that is, there are two ways. Number one, C into square root of summation of I is equal to 1 to k fi, then mi minus mu whole square divided by n, where mi is the midpoint of the class intervals, mu is the mean of the distribution, fi is the frequency of each class, and k or capital K is the number of classes. Another one is there, that is capital C. Okay, that capital C is the class interval. Now look at the formula that there is the mu, but we don't have to calculate the mu here. For that purpose, that complete formula has been changed into a different formula which we should use, because we have found fd dash whole square. So which formula we should use? That is here. Just using the same formula, we are writing or rewriting the formula in a different manner. Check it. We are writing sigma is equal to C into summation of I is equal to 1 to K if I d dash or I whole square divided by capital N minus whatever I am writing. It may be some confusing way, but that is easy. Just check here. Summation of I is equal to 1 to K if di divided by N its whole square. So that means where C is the class interval, then Fi the frequency of the practically ith class, then di is the deviation of the ith item, and capital N is the total number of observations. Just comparing it, whatever we have found. Look at the thing. I am not writing in that way. Already we know what is the value of C here. Then the square root, summation of Fi ds square, just whatever I is equal to 1 to K, that means whatever the total number of class or number is, just simply it is our F of d dash whole square. That means the last column, F d dash whole square. Okay, then divided by N. Already we know the N is here. That means total number of frequencies. Then minus summation of FDI. That is simply our summation of FD dash, whatever we have written here. That is divided by N its whole square. So that means the previous last column, that is minus 45. So here, write down the values simply. What is the C? C is the class interval. Each and every interval is of 10, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. That means each and every C is here 10. So we are writing here the value of C as 10, then into square root of summation of FD dash whole square, and that we have found is 231. So that must be 231. Then divided by the N. N means here 55. So write down here 55. I am just giving you the values 55, then minus summation of FD dash, that is the previous last column, that means minus 45, So write down the minus 45 here, divided by n, already we know that is 55, then its square. So simply after calculation, we are getting it as 10 into the value of 231 divided by 55 is 4.2. So that means that one value is 4.2. Then minus summation of fd dash by n minus 45 by 55, its square is now 0.66941. That means that one is near about, we can say, 18 point. Always write down that type of calculation when that is not equal to but nearly equal to or approximating values, just in that notation. That notation is called the equality, that is nearly equal to or approximation. So 18.8 marks. Now look at the unit once again, marks. In the case of variance, we are writing it mark square, but in the case of standard deviation, we are writing it as marks, and moreover, it is always positive. So once again, when the group data has been given, just find out the midpoints, then find out the deviations with related the class interval, then find out the fd dash, multiplication of the frequency with the deviation, then find out the fd dash square. Just sum all the fd dash, all the f of all the fd dash square, and we are ready to find out the standard deviation. That is how we can use the standard deviation in group data. So next, we have to think why we should use the standard deviation. That means the uses of standard deviation. Now, as we know, the SD or the standard deviation is a frequently used measures of dispersion. That means that is the most used measures of dispersion. Now, it enables us to determine as to how far the individual items is in a distribution deviate from its mean. That means whatever the mean has been given or we have found from the distribution, standard deviation gives us the deviation for that particular distribution. Okay, and for any symmetrical or bell-shaped curve, so for any symmetrical or bell-shaped curve. Now, what is that particular symmetrical or bell-shaped curve? That is the frequency distribution. Already we know that is looking like the bell-shaped or symmetrical, where in middle the mean, median or mode resides. Mean, median or mode resides. So in that case, what the standard deviation gives us? The very first one, about 68% of the values in the population means the data in the population fall within ±1 standard deviation from the mean. Second one, about 95% of the values fall within ±2 standard deviation from the mean. And third one, if that is also not true, that is about 99% of the values fall within ±3 standard deviation from the mean. Now, what it is in a small example. Suppose we have found the mean for any particular distribution which has that symmetrical or bell-shaped curve. Already we know the bar diagram. Maybe you all know about the bar diagram, and that particular bar diagram or any type of diagram, we have found that bell-shaped or the symmetrical curve. Now here we have found the mean as 35. So mean is 35. Now we are comparing all the other data, all the other values of the distribution. If we compare all the other distribution, then we may find about 68% of the other values in the population, that means the data, fall within plus-minus standard deviation. Plus-minus 1 means if the mean is 35, that means 68% of the data are near about 36 or 34, near about +-1. The data are either +1 or -1. If that is not true, in that case, the data maybe 90% of the values fall within plus-minus standard deviation from the mean, that is +2. So that means if the data are not 36, 34, like that 68%. So suppose 1, 2, then 68% means 34, 36, then 35, 37, 4.2, in that way. If that is not true, then 95% of the values fall within +-2 standard. That means if 35 is the mean, then it may be 37 is the data or 33 is the data. That must be 95% from the complete data. If that is also not true, that is another way. That means 9% of the values fall within +-3 standard deviation. So if 35 is the mean, then the data's values may be 38 or 32, like that. And those are all near about 99% of the complete data. So in that way, the standard deviation can gives us from the deviation from the mean. Now the next question is why we should use the standard deviation. Why? Suppose, and for particular that thing, we need to find out another one term that is called the coefficient of variation. and that is called CV, and that is in term sigma by mu into 100. Now, once again, you can think that that is a term, that is a value. So coefficient of variation gives us that value. But when we are writing that value, that must be in percentage. Okay, so that means practically what is the meaning of percentage? Sigma by mu, then that is 100 into 1 by 100. So that one is equal to sigma by mu into 100 into, that means percentage. So that's why we have to write it using percentage. So coefficient of variation, how we can use the coefficient of variation for the standard deviation, and that is for our general life problem, very small general life problem. Suppose the problem is like that: in a small business firm, two types of typists, or two types, better, no, two typists are employed. The first one is typist A, second one is the typist B. Now, for typist A, typist A on an average types 30 pages per day, and with a standard deviation of 6. Okay, so that is the data for typist A. Second one, typist B on an average types 45 pages per day with a standard deviation of 10. Now the question is, which typist shows the greater consistency? So that is a very generalized problem. When we are employing some typists in any type of office or firm, we are checking how fast E or C is. But not only that, we are also checking how efficient he or she is, and also how consistent he or she is. And for that particular thing, we have to think about the coefficient of variation. So for the first one typist, we are finding the coefficient of variation for typist A at first. So that means sigma A divided by the mu A into 100, that is percent. Now check it for the typist A. Typist A has the standard deviation 6. So that is the sigma A. On an average 30 pages per day. So that is mu A. So calculate the value. 6 by 30 into 100%. 520 or 20%. That is the coefficient of variation. Variations means how it is deviating. Now for the typist B, coefficient of variation for typist B is the sigma B by mu B into 100%. Now for the second one, typist B, 10 is the sigma B and 45 is the mu B. So 10 by 45 into 100%, and that one is becoming 22.2%. So look at the values. For typist A, that is 20%. Once again, the less value, that means less vary, less deviation. So this gives us two very simple derivations. Although typist B is typing more pages than typist A. More pages, why? Because B is typing 45 pages per day, but typist A 30 pages per day. So obviously we may think, okay, typist B is more efficient. No, in that case, when we are finding more consistency belongs to typist A. The more consistent tendency belongs to typist A than typist B, because typist A has the less coefficient of variation, where typist B has 22.2%. In another way, we may say it like, though typist A daily output is much less than the typist B, but typist A is more consistent, because less variation, less deviation means more consistency. So whenever we are employing any or hiring any type of employee in any office or anything, any other type of problem, sometimes we don't know that the coefficient of variation is originally calculating in the behind of the thing overall. We don't know, because we are hiring the typist A really, because he or she is more consistent, but we don't know why, because based on his or her experience we can find his or she is more consistent. And if we consider it, if we find it using the coefficient of variation, then we can find, okay, that is true. So that's why the standard deviation and coefficient of variation is very much important in case of general life. That's the variation is thing. Up to that, that is the standard deviation. Now the next question, once again, what is the meaning of that particular thing, whatever we have done here? That's some confusing thing for someone or somebody. Now, that is nothing. Suppose we have some type of data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 34, 35, 36, 37, 35, 34, 39, 40, 36, like that. Okay. And after that, we are getting, if we find the data and the frequency distribution curve. The frequency distribution curve we are getting if that is like a bell shaped or symmetrical. Then suppose the mean is 35. That means the datas are like that type. The first one data is 0, second one 2, third one 3, fourth one 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have drawn it. Then once again it is falling 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0. In that way, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So that means what the data is there. The data has been given in that way. 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Suppose that is 9, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is, we are not arranging in that way, but suppose the data has been found near about that. Symmetrical means whatever the mean we are getting, that is in middle, in central, perfectly. That means the first half is already symmetrical or like the mirror image of the second half. That's why it is called as symmetrical or bell shaped. Okay, now in that case, when we are finding the value of data, we are finding the standard deviation. If we look at that thing, that means suppose the mean is here 9. So if we don't know the data, here that must be 68% of data. 68% means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So among 16, 68, I am saying suppose 70%. 70% of data are near about plus minus 1 with the mean. So that means either 8 or 7, like that. If that is not true, suppose not 7, not 8, not 8. So that means 5, 6, 5, 6. In that way, the data are becoming. So 95% of data are from 9 plus minus 2. That means it may be 7 or 6 plus 7, 7 or 7, 6 or here 11, like that. Another one, if that is also not the data are true, that it may be that 99% of the data. So that is not that portions 0, 1, 11, 13, then 7, 5, in that way. So here we are finding the mean as 9. So 99% of the data are 9 plus minus 3. So that means it may be 12 near about or near about 6, like that. So that is simply the values of the data of the distribution we are comparing with the mean with the help of the standard deviation. Standard deviation is giving us that type of general value that is from the statistics.